hands and take it from here.
Okay. Thank you,
Help
Katie.
us understand insurance people.
Well, thank you, Katie, and thank you, Tom and Rhonda, for the opportunity to showcase today our agency. We've been very fortunate to work with charter schools now since the movement was founded, which was actually we helped get the legislation passed back in May of '96 now, and insured our first charter school in North Carolina in 1997. So it's been a long, wonderful relationship working with charter schools throughout the state. We're community-focused, people-driven, independent insurance agency. And what that means is we're very involved in the community that we all live in. We have agents throughout the state, and we're all focused in the communities we live in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Those are the 3 states we primarily focus on with charter schools. Independent agent means we represent lots of various different insurance companies. We have over 80 different contracts. So that means we work for our school, not for the insurance company, to help them with their safety and risk management. And we're based out of Durham. That's where our team of service agents are based out of. And we provide commercial liability, property, auto, work comp, umbrella, cyber security, personal home and auto, life, health insurance, as well as disability. And our big focus is on safety and risk management for our schools. Just again, I'll reiterate, I've been involved now for over 20 years with the charter school movement, and we work with many schools throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. And I'm the president of the agency, and have a long experience working with charter schools, and serve on Rhonda's legislative agenda committee, which is a lot of fun. Politics is one of my hobbies, and I really enjoy helping work with Rhonda and the committee on crafting legislation along with our lobbyists to help strengthen charter school laws to better support our charter schools financially and help them grow and be there for them. Also, I serve as a board of trustee for the North Carolina School of Science and Math, and I'm on my 5th year now serving that school and helping them grow. But that's helped me learn even more about operations sides of the school. So that's been a blessing for me. Our value, we're not your typical insurance agency. We, like I said, we represent many carriers. So we're out there through our risk management tools, shopping for the best markets for our charter schools, looking for the best coverage, best pricing, and provide the best service for them. And we're a personal risk advisor, so we're there listening and trying to understand the individual needs and values of the school and advocate and represent them in that when we work with our carriers to demonstrate those core values of that school to our insurance carriers. And we use a process called the risk triangle process, Charter School 360. And it's a wide variety of techniques of identifying, measuring, reducing exposures for the school to risk, increasing the safety for the students, the teachers, the faculty, and the parents.
All right. So my name is Mitch Kaufman. I work for insurance people also. I'm the work comp specialist and marketing strategist, and Steve has brought me in a few months ago, and I've just been helping out with the charter school program now, and it's been a blessing. So the risk triangle process, is made up of 3 core areas, which is our risk audit, our risk management tools, and our insurance coverage. And so this allows us to protect our organization in many different ways. The risk audits, we got multiple goals. The first one is understanding the background of the school. I mean, our philosophy is trust and honesty, and we need to know everything about you and everything about us, so we can work to find the potential risks and how to mitigate them. So we do that by listening to the concerns and opinions of the employees. So we need to understand the operations of safety, communication, leadership, and culture. And then we also have a little survey that will quantify your safety practices, just like you guys grade your students. So we will help grade you, and then from there we can determine where we need to go. And then the third goal is to recognize potential risks, and that's really the big goal right there. That we determine that through the employees, but also by observing the campus, looking around, and then we will determine your strengths and areas of improvement. So here's a couple of our risk management tools. We have a mobile application that's a hazard and threat management crisis communications. And so basically it's just a horizontal communication system for employees, first responders, and key stakeholders. It also has an incident command center where all the teachers and administration can take attendance or report a missing person. One of the students gets away and you don't know where they are, you can report that. Everyone that has their smartphone out will get immediate notification to look for that person. And then after everything's okay, you can report as found. Then we have another mobile applications for sports safety. So this is for your coaches and your physical education teachers. This is another app that has all the medical information of your students on there that the parents will fill out, so they understand potential risks that you don't want to take with certain students on their health. It also provides safety education and a concussion management system if that ever comes about. And then this one's for your school buses and your activity buses. It's a mobile and computer application and does fleet tracking telematics. Basically, you'll plug something in and it'll record the driving record, how the bus or automobile is doing, and also offers a reward system for your drivers. So we have another computer application. This is an online safety program with over 350 topics covering categories like emergency management, employment practices, health and security. This one we like to use just so the administrators and teachers, once or twice a month get together and go through one of these classes to help everyone better understand safety and risk management. Then we have our last one, which is a mobile and computer application. This is kind of towards where I work. This is the workers' compensation. So this allows you to track and report claims through digitally. It's a really easy website. And this will allow us, when we track them, to view metrics in real time so we understand what's causing these injuries, and it will allow us, create a plan to stop that. So then we have our insurance coverage after the audit and the risk management tools. So once we understand your background and culture, your needs and concerns, and your risks, we will take your school shopping to the market, to one of our many carriers, and we will get quotes and find you the best coverage.
All right, thank you.
All right, so insurance, my name is Hadley Griffin. I'm also with Insurance People. My background is health insurance. I work for the state of North Carolina on their health insurance plan and their ancillary benefits. So I'm bringing that expertise over here to Insurance People now. And Insurance People offers health insurance for any of our customers. A lot of schools are with the state health plan, but if they are not, then we are able to quote and offer health insurance for them. We're also able to do individual dental plans for a school, just anything that a school might want to complete their benefits package, especially to compete with other schools in the area, including public schools. We offer a wealth of different services for your benefit program, and we can offer these at any point in the school year. So if this is something your school has been thinking of offering, we'd love to meet with you to review what you currently have, any gaps you might have, and if you're interested in offering new benefits for your teachers and staff.
All right, so we've been focused recently on workers' compensation for our agency because this is one of the insurance policies that really your organization, you guys create your premium. So basically, it comes down to your safety, your record keeping, reporting, and your payroll. So we're going to go over this real quick. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I just have this up so if you want to watch it back later at a different time, you have all information. So some of the premium factors, your initial premium is created basically through your payroll and your class codes. So as you can see down there, there's two main ones for schools. There's professional employees and clerical, it's your teachers, and then your all other employees, it's like a groundskeeper. And so they're assigned these numerical values based on the risk of their job. And so that's then multiplied against your payroll and your manual premium. So after that, the government has created basically an incentive program for organizations that will either give you a credit or a debit to your initial premium, depending on how safe your school is. So this first one is called Experience Modification Factor. We call it XMOD for short. So basically, it's a numerical representation of an employer's work comp losses compared to industry average. So it's basically a multiplicative factor. So if you have good safety practices, it will decrease your premium, but if you have bad claims history, it's going to increase it. And so they've also added a second surcharge if they deem you unsafe work conditions. So that's your assigned risk adjustment program surcharge, and that comes about when your XMOD is over 1, which means you have bad safety practices. So basically, if you have bad safety practices, you're going to hit twice. And so think about workers' comp. I mean, we want to make sure everyone's safe, but also when it comes to charter schools, every dollar counts. And so we have practices in order to decrease that, and there are many ways for you to save money. So here's a little example of how the mod works. So an average mod is 1, which means your actual losses are equal to your expected losses. And then if you have low amount of injuries, you're going to start going below 1. And so when you go below 1, that's going to be a credit. I'll get to an example here in a second. But so say you have a $10,000 premium and you have an XMOD of 0.8. Now your premium is going to be $8,000. But then again, if you have bad safety practices, you've had a lot of claims over the past few years. If you have a mod 1.2 times 10,000, now you're suddenly paying $12,000. So then in this example, the mod over 1, we're going to be hit with the assigned risk adjustment program surcharge. And so I just created a random number kind of associated with that XMOD, and you get hit with another multiplicative factor of 1.15, and now suddenly you're at 13,800. So as you can see, this gives you a little idea of how this works and how much money you can either be saving or losing based on your safety practices for your employees. And so how we try to mitigate this is we have a little program, the Work Comp 360. I'm not going to go too far in depth with this, but basically this is our strategy on how to get you to paying the least amount of money and making sure your employees are safe.
All right, thank you, Mitch. So just to wrap that up, our core values are serving charter schools through helping them identify their risk management issues, uncovering their deficiencies and program designs, considering alternative cost-efficient risk mitigation methods, which we just discussed. And this always increases the bottom line through preferential pricing. So the better risk management the school has, the better pricing they're going to receive. And then, as Mitch reiterated, understanding why workers' comp is so important and how to reduce that cost, and helping keep the school and maintain a happy, safe students, parents, employees, and helping the school succeed through their risk management. Hadley's going to talk a couple of issues we've had through the years on how we've helped schools with natural disasters.
Sure, yeah. So, even with the hurricanes coming up, before the hurricane hit, we were contacting our schools, discussing with them, anything that might need to be secured or put in place, how to mitigate before the loss happens. And then afterwards, with our hurricanes, our companies are incredibly responsive for any schools that did have losses. Those are the natural disasters are ones that you can't necessarily prevent. So we have fantastic companies who are always able to assist. And then talking about the abuse and failure to educate, those insurance claims we've seen over the years. Utica, one of our largest school carriers, has excellent experience in these claims. It's probably the first time your school has experienced it, but it's not the first time the lawyer has seen it, which can be very comforting for a school that's dealing with something for the first time.
So we've paid all types of claims over the last 20 years working with schools, and so we really try very hard through our risk management tools, advisory to the school on how to mitigate this and prevent this from happening. I'd say one year we had a string of tornadoes come across North Carolina, hit several campuses. So that's something that can happen. We unfortunately live in a state where you have hurricane, tornado, flood, wind, storms, microbursts. So it's a challenging state with the types of claims that you can potentially have here. So this is our contact information. Again, I'm Steve Griffin. I'm the president. And Handy Griffin is works for our benefits, and Mitch, our work comp specialist. So we are here to serve the schools, and whether they're a client or not, we'd be glad to go out and offer our risk assessment and help the school with what their risk program is like and how we can improve it.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Steve, Mitch, and Hadley. I'll open up the floor. We have a few folks on the call, and they might want to ask questions. So just make sure and unmute yourself and then shoot away if you would like to ask a question. We have insurance people of North Carolina here, and they are willing and able to answer your questions. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have anybody who would like to ask a question, but thank you, Steve, especially for being patient with me butchering the name, but it's Insurance People of North Carolina, and we have Steve Griffin, Mitch Kaufman, and Hadley Griffin, and they have their contact on there. But if you're listening to this now, you can reach Steve at steve@inspeople.com, and his phone number is 919-383-0442. And when I had John Ramsey as a representative, he would just come to my school and see how things were going. And it was just great to be able to sit down and say, hey, I'm having these struggles. And even when we wanted to know, like, should we make a claim? And we asked him to help us understand what's the best way forward. Is it worth us to make a claim? And he would sit there and problem solve with us. So this is a team that really has your best interest at heart. And I would encourage you to give them a call if you're looking for insurance. So thanks again, Steve, Mitch, and Hadley for joining us, and for Rhonda and Tom joining us. And
thank you.
Well,
Hey,
you're welcome.
Katie.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, Tom, I can hear you. Go ahead.
You guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, great. Hey, Steve, that was incredible, and kudos to your team. I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself for a second. I've got two questions. One would be,
Okay.
What's an insurance out there that's not required by law based upon a charter agreement that really adds an incredible value that all charter school leaders should look at?
Oh, great. Great question. One is student accident. So while the student is in the care, custody, control of the school, they could be subject to accident or injury either on the bus or on the playground or playing sports. And so student accident is not required by the state statute. It's an easy coverage to purchase. Probably more in my generation, Tom. My parents bought that policy on me when I went to school and played sports. Today, it's a little different time. Parents now are looking to the school to provide that coverage. And that's something we encourage our school to purchase. It's very affordable, and it does follow that student around while they're during school and school activities. Another recent one, Mitch just got certified in, is cyber. We're unfortunately starting to see more cyber attacks, and that's an area that he specializes in, helping their school with their cyber protection program.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. And Mitch, that was an awesome presentation. I loved your stories. And so my question was, if they don't have an insurance group like you or someone looking out for them, how would a school know that they're under risk? Because I don't recall when I was a principal going through any sort of risk management. Maybe someone else on the team did that for us. But so how would a school know that they're not in a high risk situation if they don't have this assessment tool?
Well, so everyone has access. So like I was saying, this is your experience modification factor. So there's the NC Rate Bureau provides you access to your worksheet, which will show you your past 3 histories as far as claims. It'll show you your payroll and the class codes. And now it has this large algorithm right on the second page and exactly how it's calculated. And so, I mean, if you just want to take the information that I provided and use that, you know, as a background to see where your school is. I've reviewed a lot of loss runs for schools, and typically a lot of them don't have a lot of claims. So their mod usually is a credit around like a 0.8, 0.85. But I have also seen a lot of schools with devastating numbers that are increasing their work comp costs by 2 or 3-fold. You know, I've seen schools with like a 1.4, 1.5, and these are just from, you know, just unfortunate events that sometimes it's hard to predict. But, you know, if you have the right safety programs in place, there's no reason why there should be no claims in every year.
So Tom, what we do, where we are unique is when a school files a workers' comp claim, Mitch files a claim to mitigate it and make sure that it's properly reserved. Then he stays on top of the claim with the school to make sure how the employee is doing, and then work with them on a return to work program. All this is a cost saving factor for the school and has a huge impact. And then I'd say the other thing we've seen, we have one of our schools have multiple workers' comp claims, and then the state Department of Labor got involved and sent an inspector in, and so we went in and worked with them on cleaning up their workers' comp claims and exposures. But like you said, it's a lot of just educating them, the employees, the staff, the faculty on risk and safety. And we do this through our education training. It's free, it's no additional cost. We sit down with the school administrator, we pick out risk safety topics, like Mitch said, it could be transportation, it could be carpooling, as a whole over 350 topics. Some of it's regulatory, like how you handle bloodborne pathogens, but we work with them on developing a customized safety program for that school.
Awesome. Wow, I love the fact you do it for free. So we want to make sure that we get that info back out to everybody. So thanks, Katie. Thank you, Steve, for hosting. And Rhonda, I promise we'll get your sound issue fixed for the next one.
We need Rhonda.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All righty. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.